All right, we are very happy to now be joined by two special individuals.
This guy.
The newly minted UFC Hall of Famer Frankie Edgar and his chief corner Mark Henry. We wanted to surprise Mark this morning because he's crying about
Mark, I can't
his
say. Is that a MAGA hat? Is that a MAGA hat you're wearing?
Bro.
So Frankie Edgar,
That's Bills, baby.
We wanted to bring your chief corner on the Anik Florian podcast today because we didn't want to bother Frankie, but I texted the link to my man Frankie this morning, and he's on the mat. So I just wanted to bring you two guys together for a minute because, gosh, man, like if I was coming up with a top 5 list of my favorite people I've met in MMA, 15, 17 years doing this, like I kind of would need slots for you two individuals. So I know I speak for everybody, Kenny, and the entire sport. Congratulations, Frankie. Tremendous accomplishment. First ballot Hall of Famer. Doesn't even begin to describe it, my man.
Thank you guys, man. You know, the words that you gave, my wife said you made her cry yesterday with the words, and you know, you're the best with that. And I couldn't have a better person, you know, talk that way about me. Mark's the man. Is definitely fitting to be on this call with me because I wouldn't be where I am without him. We started this together, and it's cool that we get to see it all the way through.
So, Mark, were you watching the broadcast Saturday night when this all went down?
No, I don't watch MMA, bro. But my phone was blowing up, and everybody was sending me the video. You know, I had a tear going down. I was trying to go on YouTube and see what happened. Then I got the full video, man. It was so great because he didn't know. I called him up right away. He didn't know.
No clue, bro.
No one in MMA deserves it more than Frankie. I was so happy for him. I was on cloud 9, and it definitely made me feel better after the sting last night. So I'm just so happy for Frankie, man, and it's just so well deserved. No one deserves it more than this guy, man.
So we only want to keep Frankie for a couple of minutes, but I do want to set this up for our audience because Frankie had an exceedingly busy day on show day, right? Media appearances. He was on a microphone, meet and greet, greeting a lot of people. And you had no idea. And as your friend, I kind of want to be like, hey, man, like maybe don't fucking drink all day.
Bro, dude, right? They put me in the draft. They put me in the drafting suite with the guys. They're handing out shots. I'm drinking beers. Definitely someone's going to give me a little heads up.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't want to spoil it for you. At least now you'll have time to prepare your speech. Kenny, I just want to give you a chance to talk to Frankie before we let him back to the mats.
Frankie, you know, you've obviously accomplished so much in this sport. Was there any idea that you were going to be able to accomplish as much as you did when you first got into this, or even when you first got into the UFC for the first time?
You know, I mean, I don't think I ever looked that far, especially as a young kid. You kind of just look to the next, you know, goal or the next task, the next fight, I guess. You know, but I know the type of person I am. I always strive to be the best. I remember someone asked me, like, you know, what do I want? This was kind of early in my career. Like, what do you want out of you know, your career? I was like, I want to be that Michael Jordan of this. So I knew that's how you had to have that mindset to, you know, achieve all that. I may not be the Michael Jordan of it, but Hall of Fame ain't too bad.
It's incredible, man. I never thought an American MMA fighter could be as beloved as the Iceman Chuck Liddell, and you're right there with him, my man. Get working on that speech, man. Hopefully not too much howlerhead before that podium appearance, but we can't wait to see both of you at the Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Mark, I'm going to keep you for a few minutes. Frankie, you're a fucking great egg. Thanks for hopping on.
He's a movie star. He's a movie star now, bro. He's a big
That's right. Congrats on that too, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, I appreciate you, brother. Have a good day.
All right, guys. Be good. Take care.
Thanks, Frankie.
Later, bro.
All right, so now we shine the spotlight on one of my favorite human beings in the world, chief corner, of course, for the newly announced Hall of Famer, Frankie Edgar, Mark Henry. We don't get to see you as much, my man, but it's nice to see you, man. How you been?
Bro, great seeing you guys, man. You guys are the best, bro. It's so great seeing you guys, and so happy for Frankie, man. It's so well deserved. You know, a guy that fought in three different weight divisions, and a guy that we used to have to put rocks in his pockets before the weigh-ins so he wouldn't be embarrassed at 155. And that's no joke, man. We used to have to make this guy eat and drink before the weigh-ins because we didn't want to be embarrassed or give the opponent too much confidence.
So I don't have any dates to confirm, but Thursday, June 27th is probably going to be the UFC Hall of Fame induction ceremony. So I'd imagine we'll be able to drag you to Las Vegas in the to the desert in the summer to be there for Frankie.
I have anything for Frankie, bro. Anything for you guys, anything for Frankie.
Well, dude, I think they might give you a microphone, so just be careful. You know, these Hall of Fame inductees need inductors, so I'm just putting that in the back of your mind. But
I'm not the guy, bro.
You're not the guy. All right. So it is interesting, though, the way they like surprise these guys on the broadcast, right? Because knowing Frankie the way I do and knowing he was doing an appearance with my brother, I'm thinking, man, like then after the fact, this dude's going to have to do a bunch of media when he's got like nothing left, you know? But yeah, what was it like for you just in that moment as your phone's blowing up? I mean, I'd imagine you knew this date was coming, just maybe not this soon. I don't know.
Yeah, man, in my eyes, you're always going to see things different, for someone that you've been around so much. And, I just think that people, they saw Frankie fight, but they didn't see Frankie train, man. He's just, the best professional I've ever seen, man. Not only that, like just having him in the room around guys like, Marlon Moraes, Eddie Alvarez, Kalen Chukagian, Corey Anderson, and so on, all the great fighters that we've had, Zabit, and just like his presence there and him being the captain and, everybody just watching him come in the earliest, leave the latest, and his work ethic. I mean, Frankie loved it, man. Like Frankie truly is a fighter's fighter. Like he lived it, man. He didn't talk about it. He lived it. He enjoyed it. And, he's just an absolute coach's dream, man. And a brother, that's for sure, too.
Mark, what do you think would be I mean, it's hard to define just one thing, but if there's one thing that stood out to you as Frankie Edgar, the competitor, what would it be? What separated him from everybody else?
There's just so many things, like I said, he loved what he did, but his speed, I think you have to have something, and any, if you're going at the highest of the highest in any sport and competing like you did, Kenny. And, with him, I think his speed really helped him out. His foot speed, his hand speed helped him out. But just his determination, man, his toughness, his love for the sport. As a student, he would just listen to anything you said, like I would call out stuff and like he would just like do it in an instant, man. Like it was just like the bond that we had and just him trying to, like, he was just a white belt, man. Like he just worked so hard. Every day was like his first day in the sport. Like when you were training, it was incredible. And sitting down and doing the game planning was such a joy, even for you, Kenny. Like I can't tell you how many times you made me nervous, and I always tried to plan ahead. And I tried to find it, but I had stuff written down for you, like 3 different game plans for you. I'm not joking at all.
I love it.
I believe it.
We're getting ready for you, because I don't know how you two didn't meet, but I'm happy that you guys didn't.
Yeah. Well, Mark, we just wanted to grab you for a few minutes. I know you probably stepped outside the pizzeria, but you're all class.
That's
and
congratulations.
Amazing. But can't wait to see you probably in late June, my man. Congratulations. And we'll let you get back to it. But have a great winter, man. I do think your Buffalo Bills eventually will be heard from. And you're just one of my favorites. I had to grab you for a few minutes today, bro.
Thanks so much, guys. You guys are the best, man. It's great seeing you guys, man.
Great to see you,
so
Mark.
Happy for Frankie again. All right,
have
guys.
a good day, Coach. There he is, Mark Henry.
Go Bills.
Mark Henry with us here on the Anik Florian podcast. And probably a good time for me to rip up my $2,500 ticket on the Philadelphia Eagles to win the NFC. I have been hedging that all season. So people who think that I just threw away $3,000, I didn't really do that. And then we always try to take down those Buffalo Bills. Kenny, mission accomplished. $300.
You didn't show that to Mark, though.
To win the AFC, and we'll rip that up for the viewership right now. Yeah, I didn't want to rub it in. I waited could get him out of there. All right, well, Lucy is up in the nicotine pouch game with breakers. Pouches packing a little something extra inside. So what are Lucy breakers exactly? Well, if you know your pouches, you know the nicotine doesn't hit immediately, and neither does the flavor. Well, the geniuses at Lucy came up with a brilliant way to fix both problems. They put a mini liquid capsule into each breaker's pouch, so you grab a breaker's pouch, break the capsule. Yes, with your teeth. Makes a really satisfying pop, actually. You put it in your lip and enjoy the immediate nicotine and flavor release. A new kind of pouch technology, and it is only available from Lucy. 100% pure nicotine, 6 delicious flavors. That includes unique ones like apple, ice, or espresso, and also some classics like mint or mango. So break up with your dusty gas station pouches and go to lucy.co/AFpod and use promo code AFPOD to get 20% off your first order. Lucy offers free shipping and has a 30-day refund policy if you change your mind. Lucy.co/AFPod. That is Lucy.co. Use the code AFPOD to get 20% off. And as always, free shipping. And here comes the fine print. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. All right. Congratulations to Frankie Edgar. How cool was that, by the way, Kempfly? I kind of wanted to surprise Mark there today, but it just goes to show you, where's Frankie Edgar on a fucking Monday morning, like 2 days after getting word that he's in the Hall of Fame? On the fucking mats.
Training. What a savage, man.
And I did shout out Renee Edgar because she has been a huge force behind the entire Frankie Edgar operation. And I know for a lot of people and a lot of wives and a lot of mixed martial arts fans, even men who are spouses of fighters, right? Like they want to hear that significant other get shouted out because it doesn't happen primarily without that person. Very interesting to hear Mark Henry talk about the Kenny Florian preparation, right? It's like, how do you prepare for a southpaw that is an angry southpaw, Kenny Florian, nasty prick, Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt, elbows. And I think a lot of that preparation is probably jiu-jitsu stuff that isn't necessarily going in Mark Henry's pike. But yeah, tough southpaw. It is interesting that you guys never fought, Kenny.
I know, dude. I always, again, if you're, near the top of the weight class and stuff, you're always looking for potential competition, right? And I always thought that Frankie and I would meet at some point. And just like Mark said, I always had specific approaches of how I thought I would approach someone like Frankie Edgar. I even trained with Frankie Edgar over at Henzo Gracie's. And I remember, because I potentially was going to face him, I remember just flopping onto my back and just kind of defending against Frankie, just kind of not doing anything, not really showing him anything, just because I thought we would face each other one day. But, it's amazing to see a guy like Frankie who, consistently just got better and proved himself again and again, and went from being like, wow, he's a lot tougher than I thought, to, man, can anybody beat this guy? Like, he was the first guy to go out there and solve that BJ Penn puzzle when BJ was BJ Penn, right? In his best weight class, 155 pounds. And the fact that he was able to do that not once, but twice, is amazing. Just that alone. His fights against Gray Maynard, all the times that Frankie Edgar proved himself to be the Rocky of mixed martial arts was just always a pleasure. And just to be in the same room with him, to compete in the same weight class as him, was an absolute honor. And like Mark said, and I think like you said, John, no one deserves it more than Frankie Edgar. That was a sure thing, and just great to see.
And I just have to say quickly before we get to Ray, because people like behind the scenes stuff, let me just tell you, and I'll look straight into the camera, back in 2008, 2009, we had a lot of conversations about this in Bristol, Connecticut, right? As the president of Team Florian, we really liked that Frankie Edgar matchup. We were pursuant of that Frankie Edgar matchup. We wanted that fight. We didn't get that fight. Congratulations to my good friend Frankie Edgar, the UFC Hall of Famer.